It's a very short day that we have here, and we know that the second half, there is another conversation that will continue, although that would have conversation beyond recovery in itself. But please allow me also, on behalf of the chief of my branch, but also for UNDRR and the International Recovery Platform, to thank the Vice Minister, Excellency, who's present here, for his presence, the colleagues from the Cabinet Office of Government of Japan, who have been supporting the International Recovery Platform for very long, Excellencies and delegates from the Hyogo Prefecture, a special mention to Sasahara-san, the Executive Director of ADRC, and Kodama-san, also the Director of Research from ADRC, for assisting the International Recovery Platform in not just delivery of the forum, but all continuity of all its exercises. But I would like to also take the opportunity to thank my colleagues, or our colleagues, especially Paul, who has been helping in all the endeavors of the recovery platform and this forum. Thank you, Paul. And maybe I can just put forward a few small things. I'm building on since the last year's IRP forum, which was where the joint intention of all the IRP partners in scaling up the international recovery platform began. Since then, the IRP forum of 2024 laid the ground for what you heard in this session, the session before, around readiness. And if I can go to the next slide, Paul, please. The IRP forum then assisted in the Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference. It was heavily involved in the consultation processes that led to the adoption of the call to action to build back better by investing in recovery readiness, which was adopted by all member states at the Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference, which the IRP has also now been instrumental in getting involved in the G20 processes. So the International Recovery Platform led the discussion within the G20 around recovery. What we have in front of you here is the extract of the ministerial declaration that was adopted at the G20 ministerial summit. And this particular paragraph talks about the focus around recovery, but broadly says that we need to emphasize the importance of learning from past events and of promoting science and evidence-based solutions enhanced by coordination across all relevant sectors. This has then now been further taken up under the G20 presidency of South Africa. Again, IRP has been called in to assist in it. The South Africa presidency, which is for this year, has asked the International Recovery Platform to consult and pilot a recovery readiness assessment framework, which would be put forward to the G20 for consideration by the working group, which is something which the International Recovery Platform is very proud of for being called into delivering this. But that's not it. The International Recovery Platform will also host this year's World Resilient Recovery Conference. This is the first World Resilient Recovery Conference. In the past, it used to be the World Reconstruction Conference. But we have to also realize that reconstruction is not the only dimension of post-disaster. We need to look at rehabilitation and all various aspects of recovery. This will take place on 3rd of June, just before the opening of the global platform this year. We invite you to visit the website, which is now live. We have the support of all the IRP members, but also the co-chairs in taking this forward. This would then also bring us back to Japan towards September, when we hope that the next International Recovery Platform, this year uniquely, we will have two IRP forums. So the next one would allow us to then discuss about how do we take the global call to action that would be adopted at the World Resilient Recovery Conference into implementation. So that creates a pathway into country-level support and take things at the more to the substantive level where countries need assistance in. But before I close and before I give the floor to OHASHI-san, let me also take the opportunity to thank UNDP, who is not here with us today. They are currently the co-chair of International Recovery Platform. And there is also a transition happening from UNDP to the next co-chair, which will be taking place in February, in the next month in itself. So thank you again for your patience and being with us here today, both in person and virtually. And we appreciate all your support and kindness. Thank you, and I'll pass the floor to you, Assis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Panda, and for providing your reflections and also for helping us to understand how this forum contributes in all of these global processes towards recovery readiness. And now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Ms. OHASHI Makiko, the Director of International Cooperation and Disaster Management Bureau for the Cabinet Office of Japan, to provide her closing remarks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paul. So, dear distinguished guests, participants, and online viewers, it is my great pleasure to deliver remarks upon closing this year's International Recovery Forum, attended by a number of experts, practitioners, and those who have made great contribution to disaster risk reduction in Japan and worldwide. As we look back these 30 years since the devastating disaster of the Great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake, there have been many earthquakes and other mega disasters from which we have accumulated good practices and lessons of recovery and reconstruction. Also, we have heard from today's speakers that since we or they are in country or area permanently with high risks of mega earthquakes and other disasters, they have been working on post-disaster recovery with a very wide and clear view of building resilient society. Here, resilient means not only being physically strong to stand future disasters, but also ensuring ability of recovering life and livelihood of residents for future, and ability of supporting those most vulnerable or having difficulties in self-recovery so that no one is left behind. Today, we gained a wide range of important concepts, crucial points of view, and not to miss factors, formulating the call to action to build back better, shown by Abhilash just minutes ago. This call emphasizes the importance of pre-disaster preparation for speedy and quality recovery with further resilience. This preparation is not just advanced drafting of recovery plans, but requires three important things, to my opinion. Firstly, stock of baseline information on disaster risks and damage estimation of area. Secondly, capacity building of the key recovery practitioners. And thirdly, probably most importantly, financial planning. Well, this actually reminds us of the circle of actions of disaster risk reduction outlined in the priority actions of the Sendai framework. The preparedness for resilient recovery, which appears to be in line with priority action 4, it is strongly linked to the priority action 1, the understanding disaster risk. And priority action 2, strengthening disaster risk governance to manage disaster risk. As Professor Kawata raised in the earlier part of this forum, Japan is still in process of intensive risk analysis of future earthquakes and other disasters, and building readiness for Build Back Better. This process, of course, includes learning from other countries such as Indonesia, Philippines, Nepal, and many others. So all in all, that means we shall work together. And I hope this partnership and solidarity built from this forum will be an important part of our future success towards disaster-resilient society. At the end, I'm just express huge thanks to those who worked so much on preparation and organization of this forum, and lastly, of course, Paul, who lead us in the forum. So thank you for your attention, and see you all next time around. ありがとうございました。